Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. Ornery might be orange, I'm not sure. Anyways, this is our Christmas show, our Christmas special, as it is. Also, it's going to be the last show of the year because we are taking the rest of December off. So, we have a special Christmas movie review show for you tonight. I am Zoltan Mint, and we are coming from the Sim Staccato in the city of Beguile in Second Life. So if you are in Second Life or would like to get on Second Life and join us in the studio, just give me a message and I'll get you here, and you can join the hilarity in the audience, which it looks like we have a good crowd there tonight. Let's bring out our lovely co-host, Mr. Lionheart. Come on out, Lionheart.
Oh, I'm lovely now, am I? And I'm walking.
You are when I'm drinking Christmas ale.
You know what? This is funny. This is a first. You're drinking and I am not.
Yes, that is. The cats and dogs are living together. Anyways, we are live on live stream as well. So if you can go on the internet to live stream, you can catch this show in case you can't get on Second Life if you want to see it live. Or you can wait because I will edit it and add graphics and throw it up on our YouTube channel, the Angry and Ornery channel, and you can watch it there. It runs about a half hour, and we tape every 2 weeks on Wednesday evening. So the next one won't be until next year after January, probably the first week in January, whenever that falls. So we better do a good show, eh, Lionheart?
Yes, we better.
How you feeling?
I'm ducky. How are you?
I'm twice ducky.
Okay.
Let's have a seat.
We shall.
So, did you do your homework? I was hoping that you would come up with at least 3 Christmas movies that you could recommend or that you think are your favorites.
You didn't say it was homework. If you would have told me it was homework, I wouldn't have done it deliberately.
So, but you did do it, right?
I did do it. I have 3.
Well, how about,
Do you have
I have 3. I do have 3, indeed. You want me to start?
If you would like to start, that's fine. I didn't know you can count that high, though.
I can if I use my hand. But wait a minute, huh? All right, so if you really want to enjoy this holiday season, in my opinion, and in Lionheart's opinion, you probably should own or borrow or rent the following 6 films. The first on my list is A Christmas Carol, which I know can become very confusing and difficult to figure out which one to watch. So that's why you have good old Zoltan to help you along. The only Christmas Carol that really matters, and granted, there are many good Christmas carols, because I own almost all of them. Lionheart can attest to the fact that I've been collecting all of the movies on DVD for the last, 20-some years. So I think I'm up to about 16, maybe 17 versions, which may or may not include animated versions. So I've watched them all, from the more modern ones like Scrooged with Bill Murray and A Christmas Carol with Patrick Stewart, which he did a one-man Broadway show, by the way, in my local town. Anyways, the one that still stands up is the 1951 A Christmas Carol starring Alistair Sim. And the reason why I picked that as the best of the Christmas carols and on my top 3 Christmas movies ever is because Alistair Sim, I think, is probably the best Scrooge that has ever played the role on stage and or on film. There's something about that character. I don't know if it's his baggy British jowls or his wide stares or whatever it is, but it's just absolutely perfect. When I read the book, when I think of the movies, I always think of him. And he's universally accepted as probably the best fellow who's ever played Scrooge. There are also a lot of other good things about this movie that makes it enjoyable, other than his performance. But that's all you really need is a good Scrooge to make a good Christmas Carol. But the ensemble cast is also really good. Actresses and actors like Kathleen Harrison, who plays as Mrs. Dilber, one of my favorites. Mervyn Johns, who plays Bob Cratchit, and a few others. Jacob Marley, Michael Hordern, who does a wonderful job. So they're just almost cliches. They're like the film is, even though it's 1951, it feels like it's much older. It's a British film, in fact, and it's grainy, and I don't think I've ever seen a crisp, clear copy of it. And I don't want to, because it's dark around the edges. It's like this really cool, like they almost purposely filmed it that way, which is probably not true at all. But the sets are spectacular. They're claustrophobic, and yet there's a lot to look at on the screen, and you can watch this movie over and over again, and I do. Almost every Christmas, I think I watch this movie. On Christmas Eve, in fact. But it's just got a feel to it and a charm to it that none of the others, I think, have ever come close. So, A Christmas Carol, the 1951 British film starring Alistair Sim, that's my first choice. That should be the one that is in your DVD player on Christmas Eve. And by the way, the whole family can watch it. There's moments that you'll cry. There's moments that you'll cheer. But you know what? Most of you have probably seen it. You don't need me to tell you this. Just rewatch it and pay attention, and you'll see that it does a really. I mean, it does deviate from the Dickens book. Don't get me wrong, but it does so in a good way. I mean, you don't really notice that many changes. I would have liked to see more of Charles Dickens' actual dialogue being spoken by the actors, but it doesn't matter because the film is just a delight. So there's my first movie. Highly recommend it. A 5 out of 5 on my recommendation scale.
Y'all done?
I am done as the turkey dinner.
Okay. All right. So I gave this whole thing a lot of thought. So
you pick, go on.
Yes, no, I did. My first pick, a little bit odd. You have to remember it is a Christmas film. I am picking Were No Angels, the 1955 version, the one with Humphrey Bogart, Aldo Ray, and Peter Ustinov. The ones where it is Christmas Day on Devil's Island, and 3 inmates escape, Bogart, Ray, and Ustinov, and they go to this small island, and they figure they're going to rob a local merchant, get some money, and steal away. Well, they go into this shop, and it's run by Leo G. Carroll. Everybody should know from Man from U.N.C.L.E. as Mr. Waverly. Runs the shop with his family. And they start to see that they're not really doing that well as a store. So they pose as the prisoners who were supposed to come and fix his roof. And they start to fix his roof. And then they see other things going on, how people don't pay their bills. So they start to get these people to pay their bills. And they're trying to get the shop thriving again. And the family hasn't celebrated Christmas in years, so they get them a tree. And they're trying to take care of them. And it ends up being this really cute family comedy where these 3 men who are murderers start to care for this simple family and take care of them and make sure that they're well taken care of. It's really funny. You don't get to see Bogart in a lot of comedies. When he does do it, though, he does it quite well. Peter Ustinov, another one you don't really see in a lot of comedies. Very young at this stage, clean-shaven, having a baby face. It's just a delightful film. Basil Rathbone pops up later on as the actual owner of the store, who's a mean uncle who's actually been cheating the family for years. So it's a very nice Christmas film, very pleasant to watch. I would strongly suggest it. It's one of those
Hollywood movie?
Hollywood movie, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Paramount.
And did you say what year?
1955.
Oh, okay.
Not to get confused with the piece of garbage that they made several years later in the 80s with Robert De Niro and Sean Penn.
Right.
Demi Moore. Yeah, but no, great film, highly recommended. So
That's off the beaten path.
yes, but it is a Christmas film. So you were expecting me to do horror films, didn't you?
Well, I know we did this Christmas show live on TV in the real world, and I was appalled that you recommended whatever that, where Santa's an axe murderer movie.
That'll come later.
Is that still on your list?
Yes and no, but we'll wait.
Oh. Well, one movie that I couldn't put on my list, it would be number 4, I suppose, if I had to make a recommendation, but I wanted to at least mention it. And I hope I get the name right, because I always screw it up, but it's On a Midnight Clear? Is that the one? The World War II movie?
Yes.
Okay, right. I always get that confused with like other Christmas song lyrics, or lyrics from that very song. But anyways, yeah, that's a great film. If you've got a lot of time and want to watch 7 movies, I would throw that movie in there too, just because there's moments of pure, I don't know, love shining light. All right, so my second film. I'm staying on the pretty expected list, just like Santa makes lists. Get it? And I'm going to go with Elf. And the reason why I want to go with Elf is because I find myself watching that every year. And I went to see it at the theater and watched it on DVD, owned it, and pretty much has become a holiday tradition to watch it. But you should understand there's a couple of reasons why this is odd that I'm recommending Elf. First of all, I generally don't like contemporary or new Christmas movies because, in my opinion, they can't do anything new. It just seems like it's the same old treadmill when they come up with these new Christmas shows, and the lessons are the same about greed and how it's not, bad, commercialism is bad and blah blah blah. Every show. And by the way, if you want to see these kind of shows, you can watch the Hallmark Channel because they're running those kind of movies. These love, the romance, Christmas movies nonstop 24/7. However, Elf does not fall into that category, and a couple of reasons why. The first is I'm not a big fan of Will Ferrell at all. People are going to hate me, I suppose, and it's the Christmas season. You shouldn't hate anybody, but Will Ferrell, I think, is highly overrated. I don't think he's that funny. He was okay in Saturday Night Live. Some of the sketches were hysterical, but most of them you have forgot about because he wasn't that funny. All of his movies, other than Elf, have tanked. They have not been funny. They've only appealed to a very narrow demographic. Anchorman and those kind of films, I just find not funny at all. I think they're appalling. It's kind of like Jim Carrey and the Dumb and Dumber movies. I mean, I don't think Saturday Night Live sketch actors have really, he wasn't, I know, but Will Ferrell was. But, guys that have come from improv sketch comedy type of shows generally don't make good movies, and Will Ferrell is a testament to that. However, Will Ferrell does something amazing and miraculous in Elf, and that is he plays a guy, a human, who thinks he's an elf. And he does it better than anybody else possibly could. I think it's absolutely 100% convincing. His childlike, or elfin-like, I suppose, mannerisms are like he was born to play that role. And it's so incredibly convincing that that's what he is he is a guy who, and they never question, well, anyway, I don't want to get too deep psychologically about it or we'll talk forever, but the thing is, it's got a good moral fiber to it, and I think that the end, even though it's predictable, is uplifting, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good about yourself. And it does address a lot of the current situations in this world. There's a little bit of the greed thing. I guess James Caan, who plays his dad, but I'm not quite sure if Caan was greedy or if he was just unfocused or he was too focused. I don't know. It was filmed in New York City, in 2003, and it feels like it was a New York City movie. But, to boot, you got Bob Newhart, who plays the Papa Elf character, and you can't beat that. I've always liked Mary Steenburgen, who plays James Caan's wife. And Ed Asner is Santa Claus. I mean, who'd have thought Ed Asner, right? Lou Grant would be one of the best Santa Clauses in movies, but he does a great job as Santa Claus. He looks like Santa Claus. Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones is in it, playing an angry dwarf. But one of the show stealers, in my opinion, and one of my favorite scenes, if not the best scene in this movie, or in all Christmas movies, is when Zoe Deschanel, who plays the love interest of Will Ferrell, is she can't pay her bills. She's poor, but yet she's still working, and she goes to work, and one morning she's showering and she sings. Baby, it's cold outside, and she's got a beautiful voice. She's really an actual singer, and Will Ferrell's character comes in and very innocently starts joining with her, just because he loves the spirit of Christmas, he loves the song, and of course he eventually falls in love with her. So overall, I think it's just a great family fare, romantic movie, and I hate to sound corny here, but it's just one of those very feel-good, precious type of Christmas gems. So there's my take. I give it a 5 out of 5.
Wow, you just gush over these films, don't you?
That's what we're here for.
Okay. All right, so my second pick here, I'm going to do it a little differently here. Would you watch a movie with James Caan, Chris Kattan, Fran Drescher, Dave Thomas, Robert Culp, William Goldberg, the wrestler Goldberg, and a whole bunch of other celebrity actors?
If you're telling me this is Chopping Mall or the horror Santa movie, then no.
Okay, so my second pick is the film from 2005 called Santa's Sleigh.
That's it. I knew it.
Well, it's a comedy. It's not a horror film. It is a comedy. It is listed under everything as a comedy. And basically what it is you find out years ago Santa was not who you thought he was. He was actually the son of the devil, and an angel tricked him into playing a game of I can't pronounce it. You're going to have to pronounce it for me. The Canadian game with the broom and the puck that they roll across the ice. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Very famous game.
Zamboni?
No, not Zamboni. It's the one where they roll the rock across the ice. The little thing.
Curling, you moron.
I couldn't think of it.
We have a Canadian in our audience. Why didn't you just go directly to her?
Well, I was hoping she would chime in with what I was saying. But
she did.
An angel tricks him into a curling match, and the angel wins, so Santa's punishment is he must be good for 1,000 years. Well, 1,000 years is up, and Santa's kind of pissed, so he's killing everybody who gets in his way. It's a funny movie. It really is. No,
yes, Lionheart.
It's funny.
That's sad. That is sad. There's nothing funny about it. You said I was gushy. Well, your movies gush blood because there's the scene where he has an axe and he chops somebody's head off.
No. He never uses an axe once.
What does he kill his victims with?
He takes James Caan and rips off a turkey leg off the turkey and shoves it down his throat and chokes him to death. He sets Fran Drescher on fire.
Well, that's not such a bad thing. I mean, her voice is rather annoying.
But it's a funny movie. It really is. It is listed.
I would watch that out of the holiday season, maybe, but maybe.
It's
Christmas. Because you like to be filled with rage and hatred at Christmas.
No, it's funny. It's a comedy. It's a fantasy. I give it a 5, man. I really do.
Wow. In your honest review, you can give it a 5.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those films that if you're ever up, it airs a lot on a lot of late night TV shows like sci-fi and stuff like that. And I guarantee you, and you don't sit there and you laugh your butt off, then there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. But
like I have morals.
Well, it's hilarious because it's the way the very Norse way of Santa is perceived. So there's only one reindeer, and it's actually more like a buffalo. And yeah, it's funny. It's funny, and it eats people, so it's hilarious.
Wow.
But come on, Goldberg, the wrestler, as Santa Claus.
Because we all know how the quality acting he does.
He does a good job. The scene where he goes into the strip club and starts killing all the hookers, it's great. The movie has a body count of 32. Come on. They're all hilarious.
You know what? Olivia in our audience does point out something interesting, that Die Hard, the original Die Hard, is a Christmas movie. It is, and I agree, but a lot of people won't agree with that, and there's some argument on Facebook about that, whether it really is a Christmas movie. But I don't think it was intended to be a Christmas movie, but I do know that the director knew that it was going to be released at Christmas, so it was real easy to dress up the sets and make it a Christmas movie.
Well, the songs that are playing as the credits are rolling are Christmas.
Well, that's because I think, what's his name directed that? Yeah, and I think he just added that because it was released in December originally. But regardless, they've made it a Christmas movie. It sure is. I mean, it's one hell of a ride, but...
You watch it, don't you?
Die Hard?
Do you feel bad after you watch it?
I don't feel bad, no.
Okay, then why can't you watch a movie?
Because I watch it in August, not in December.
What's wrong with people dying a Christmas Carol?
No, I refuse to watch Bad Santa, which was mentioned in our audience. I'm a traditionalist. I like the traditional Santas, the traditional Christmas, habits and everything about it. So it's hard for me to deviate watching Santa swear or have sex or kill people.
Nothing wrong with Santa killing people. It's all good, clean fun.
All right, I'm on my last one then, right?
Give us a high note. Come on, you can.
Well, I am, but you're gonna boo-hoo it because it's not. There's no killing involved. It's quite the contrary, and it may be arguably not a Christmas movie.
Okay.
But I think it is, and it's certainly become a Christmas tradition in my house, and that is the Bing Crosby movie, Going My Way. Okay. 1944 Hollywood film starring Bing Crosby, but also containing brilliant other actors like Barry Fitzgerald, who the great Irish actor always played. Not always, but he frequently played a priest or a minister of some sort. Frank McHugh, Gene Lockhart, and so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of really good actors, including an older Alfalfa from the Little Rascals. What's his name? Oh man, I forget his real name.
I don't know. They all died horribly.
Well, this was right before he committed suicide. Actually, he didn't live very long. But
he was in the movie. That's why he committed suicide.
I don't know about that, but anyways, this is a charmer. It's filled with great music, sung mostly by Bing. A story about a priest who is sent to save a Catholic mission or a Catholic church that's falling on hard times because the current father there is getting old and he can't really handle all of the problems and the stress, and it's more or less a relationship between these two, a father and son, almost like thing. And like I said, it's not necessarily a Christmas show, but it ends on a really high Christmas note, and that's when, well, I don't want to ruin the end because it's kind of a surprise, but Bing Crosby's character gives Barry Fitzgerald's character a wonderful, wonderful Christmas gift. The best you could possibly give. And I got to tell you, if there's a a dry eye in the house, you're not human when you're watching that scene. It's just really, really filled with all types of Christmas messages about how it's more important to give than receive, and caring for your fellow man, and we're all in this together, and all of those kind of things. But yeah, I know. Yeah, we know what kind of moral fortitude you have, which when you just threw up there, probably not a high one. But anyways, I've watched this as a kid, and almost every year since. I give it a 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. If you've never seen it, it's really easy. You can probably buy it in the buyout for a couple of bucks. Go to your local video store and get it. Add it to your collection. Watch it with your whole family on Christmas Eve. It's really good. There's good music in it too. I mean, even from that era, a real pretty girl, kind of a street hussy, really, that he takes in and kind of corrects her way, as in the "Going My Way" song. But she sings really good too, and she's cute. But 1944, there was some different views and a different time, but I got to tell you, the messages that movie delivers even today, a lot of us could stand to listen to a few times, and maybe our world wouldn't be so screwed up as I edit that for our family audience that may be watching our Christmas special. So anyways, 5 out of 5 on that one. Those are my 3 movies. I will repeat: A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim, Elf, and Going My Way. Love them. Your last film, sir.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
I am never ready for your shenanigans.
My last film, I get really shocked with this last film because I will mention it to somebody and they've never seen it. And it really, really blows my mind because when you say Christmas, it's one of the top films that pop into my head. It is from 1947, and this is going to blow Zoltan's mind when I say it. My last pick is The Bishop's Wife. Absolutely
very strange choice for you, I think.
Beautiful movie. It, of course, is about David Niven playing a bishop who's, I don't want to say down on his luck, but he's troubled right now because he wants to have a new cathedral built. And he's failing in his opinion as being a father, a bishop, running his community, everything, because he's so busy about building this new church. So he asks for help, of course, in the form of a prayer. So it's answered. And Cary Grant shows up then as Dudley, an angel, his guardian angel. And he's there to help him. At first, there's skepticism from Niven, but Dudley kind of proves himself to be an angel. And he starts to help Niven and starts to touch everybody else's lives. One life that he really touches is David Niven's wife in the show is played by Loretta Young. And it gets, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it's almost like Dudley and her are starting to almost fall in love with each other. She definitely has eyes for him, but on the same exact time she's married, and you have to remember this is in the 40s, so things like this were unheard of. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very touching movie. Everybody he comes across in some way, some point, some form, he enriches their lives. And even to this day, on our social medias, I always post the ending speech that David Niven gives at the end of the film, which starts off about the story of an empty manger and a present not given. And you really need to watch the film, and it's a very poignant film, and it's very heartfelt, and it really does make you remember the season. It makes you remember what the holiday is actually about. And it's about a lot more than just giving and receiving baubles for Christmas. So,
did you say baubles?
Baubles, as in tawdry items, bubbles.
Right, baubles, I get you. That's a term not used in 30, 40 years.
Well,
but
I'm
good for
bringing
you.
it back.
You know what? I will watch A Bishop's Wife because I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's
Oh,
a
it's beautiful.
great cast. It's a great cast.
Yeah, the
I
ice
love I
skating
love
scene.
both Niven and I love Grant. I just watched Grant, by the way, in Monkey Business.
Yeah, great
Uh,
film. Young Marilyn Monroe in that.
Indeed, and what a clever, funny, and meaningful film that was. You know, it seems
Yeah.
so simple on its surface, just like a like a lighthearted comedy, but yeah, and Ginger Rogers, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I will go and see that. So if I go see A Bishop's Wife, which of the three will you see for me?
I'll watch A Christmas Carol, but I'll watch a Muppet Christmas Carol because
No, you will
Caine.
not.
Yes, I will. I love that film.
You'll
Michael
watch
Caine
that
is the Grinch
anyways.
Scrooge. Yeah, I will.
Aw. Have you ever seen the Alistair Sim version?
Yes, and
Oh, okay.
I've seen them all. I own them all. I like the Sim version. I also really like the George C. Scott version.
Yeah, that's a good contemporary version
Yeah.
in color, of
Yeah.
course, and
Yeah.
there's it's just a little drag. It just drags out a little bit in a few spots, don't you think?
Yeah, and there's even some of them like the Edward Woodward one, where it's when Edward Woodward shows up as the ghost of Christmas Day or Christmas Present. In the
Present.
film, it almost turns into a horror film because it's so dark and dreary, and it shows you the underbelly of everything, and it's just yeah. But,
Do you remember ever seeing as a kid? And you're going to make fun of me big time on this one, I'm sure, but it's one of the best animated Christmas carols ever, and that is Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Have you?
I own
It's
it.
really you own it because it's really
Yeah.
hard to find. I can't find it on DVD.
I've had it for years. Yeah, I got it a long time ago when all the Rankin and Bass stuff started getting put out on DVD and box sets. I picked up like the Magoo Christmas and the Charlie Brown Christmas. So
Well, geez, if that Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol would happen to appear in my mail from a far-off desert-dwelling elf, I would think that he would be a wonderful, wonderful elf, and I might get the Christmas spirit all over again.
yeah, I keep thinking I'm gonna have Goldberg show up at your house and kill you.
No, there's something. There's a moment in that Mr. Magoo Christmas Carol. I mean, for the most part, it wasn't that great animated, and it's not that super of a written show. But there's a moment when they do God. What is it? God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. And the camera's like zooming all over the world, and that moment alone is worth the price of the animation. I mean, it's just it's been a long time since I've seen that, so I definitely got to look that one up. Somebody in the audience asked, "What about Holiday Inn?" Good movie, but you know what? I mean, it's so cliche. I mean, you have Bing Crosby. Doesn't he? Don't they sing White Christmas like twice in it because they're just trying to push the hell out of that song?
Yeah, White Christmas was originally in a film. The song originally premiered in a Bing Crosby Basil Rathbone film called Rhythm on the River.
Right.
And that's the first time and they did then. They just beat that song to death as much as they could, and then of course they gave it its own movie with that title.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I don't mind Holiday Inn because again, there's moments in it that are pretty neat. I mean, the whole returning World War II general thing was, that's all pretty cool. But and I always thought it'd be cool to own a Holiday Inn, a place that has a party on every holiday. I wish there was something like that around here, but I don't know. Maybe this generation couldn't handle it.
Probably not.
They'd watch movies about axe-wielding Santas and throw up a lot.
Yes. Yes. I told you.
Well, you
read.
Well, whatever. You redeemed yourself on the Bishop's Wife, though.
Okay.
Anyways, we got to get out of here.
We do? Where are we going?
We have to say goodnight to our audience, and we got to do a couple of plugs, and then we got to say Merry Christmas. Are you ready for all that?
Can we go to the park? Can we go to the park after?
You are not allowed at the park anymore.
Yes, I am.
No.
Okay.
No, you're not. Something about that trench coat incident? Do you remember?
No, not really.
Ah, you're drunk. Anyways, once again, thank you, studio audience, for coming down and seeing our shenanigans. We are in Second Life in Staccato. If you come in send a message or come into Second Life, I will get you here and you can have some fun with us. We have a big giant party after every filming. Florian's place, he holds a virtual party where... Oh, wait, you didn't know about that, Florian? Oh, man.
I didn't
Just joking.
even know about that.
Yeah, well, because I'm just making it up. But we should have a party afterwards, damn it. Anyways, we're also on live stream every other Wednesday. So you can do the math on that, although we won't be here next time because of the holiday. We will put this up on YouTube, so please watch it and join our channel, the Angry and Ornery channel. Please join our channel. The more people we have there, the more important we look. And it's been a lot of fun. This is, what, episode 17, is it?
I don't know.
It's getting close to the end of our season. We're going to go 24, and we'll see what happens after that. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Please send us some emails or, put a comment on the YouTube channel or whatever so we know that we're reaching you guys and doing what you like. And without further ado, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we will see you next year.
Wow.
Good night, everyone.